All right, so the quality might be a little bit dark and fuzzy because I'm in the dark because it's raining and uh, I don't want the lights on. I typically keep the lights off. Kind of annoying, right? But just got my mohawk touched up. Eiley cuts my hair because it's free besides her time. And right now I'm just watching Keep Breathing on Netflix. We'll see how this little series is. Spoiler alert: she's in the wilderness. She's pregnant, so she's trying to survive. Um, I have a little rant. The rant is as followed. So I was at the Tampa Pro, and we all kind of know what happened with the men's open class. And Akeem ended up winning, and by my personal opinion, from being in the crowd in person, not on not seeing a video, but in person, I think Kamal was the clear winner. Now he is shorter, a little bit stockier, not as much shape compared to Quentin, and Akeem's got some size on him. But I was watching other podcasts, and they were saying that the reason why Kamal did not win, which he won the majority of shots for sure, and even some of the like for sure the conditioning, but the shape, the flow, the symmetry. He still has good symmetry, but there are some spots where Quentin looks a little bit better as far as the flow, the shape of him. It really ties in nicely. But he was holding water. Akeem holding water in the back. And anyways, the reason why one of the judges was saying that Kamal did not place first and win was because it was a bodybuilding show. These are bodybuilders, and so mass wins. Now, I understand Tim Gardner. This is his production. Typically, they like mass. That's how it's always been compared to other promoters. They typically will lean toward the conditioning side, which Kamal was conditioned. And then overall conditioned, I believe Roman Fritz was definitely the most conditioned. Like his hamstrings were so peeled, he just lacked some size and some thickness in the back, but by far the nuttiest I've ever seen. And it even came through on the video screen, the projection in the seating area. So while everyone else's was kind of washed off, so that's great granite conditioning. So old school conditioning, right? But they were saying, Kamal was, Hakeem was bigger. Well, when we take that analogy of, let's say, building houses, is a small house not built? Is only a large house built? So if you're building homes, does a small house not count? I mean, if the house is smaller square footage, because that's what the plot plan is allowed for, I can't get any bigger because I only have a specific plot plan. I'm still building a house, and I'm building the most efficient and effective house that I can build with the most aesthetics to it. Now, same thing, if I had a larger plot plan, I can build a bigger house because I have more square footage. Now, it's the same thing. We're still building houses. We're still house builders. You can't just say, oh, we want to stick Kamal second because he's taken away a Opens Olympia spot because he's may not do the men's open Olympia. He wants to go do the 212. Well, winners, the clear cut winner will win. This type of rewarding what you like, not what should be rewarded, but like what you want to be rewarded as judges or as promoters, I think that's really messed up. That just shows that, hey, you don't, like, if you're a shorter guy and you make the most out of your physique and you become in peeled and you do the poses correctly and you bring that finesse, the shape, the symmetry of what you have, we're not going to reward you because we're going to reward someone that's bigger. So that's going to get in people's heads, and they're going to be like, hey, like, if I get a big structure, I'm going to get as big as possible for my show, and I'm going to sacrifice conditioning. Now, if, in my mind, I think all of the bodybuilding shows should be based on how well you show the muscle, right? Like, we want you to be an anatomy chart. We don't want you to hold some water. Like, you need to suffer. You need to bring in conditioning. And sometimes conditioning does sacrifice fullness, but that's not always the case because that can come down to diet, water retention, how you play the last week out. But I just don't see why you would reward someone that's just bigger structurally. Like Kamal was given his body and he maxed it out to make it look appealing. Now, the other thing that I've also heard was, the question is, if you're not going to reward Kamal because he was smaller, what is Hottie doing up there on the stage? Why is he in the top five? There's guys way bigger than him, right? So I mean, you have Big Ramy, you have Brandon, you have Hunter, you have Nick is bigger, taller than him. You have Samson. You have the new guy that's coming in from the other class. You got Akeem. You got Ian. You got all these guys, and why is Hottie up there? That doesn't make any sense. Like you should deduct points for him being smaller structure and smaller stature, right? Because you just did that to Kamal. So that's very messed up. So when people say there's things that are politics, I believe that's kind of what they mean is the judges will reward what they want to reward. And that's kind of like politics. Hey, I have my opinion. And even though it goes against what the rules are or the guidelines are, I'm still going to like let my, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm still going to pass my laws or my opinions onto the community that I govern, right? That's not correct. That shouldn't be correct. You're not doing what's best for you. You're doing what's in guidelines with that organization. So that needs to be fixed. And the other thing is about the athletes rep, Bob Chick, I don't know, whatever his name is. It's not important because he's not important. So he was never elected by the current athletes that are IFBB. B, he makes excuses of his roles and responsibilities that he says that he takes, and he does them for free. Why do them for free, man? If you're actually doing them, you would actually want money because that's how business is. You're not making, like, that's not worth your time unless they are actually paying you, which they're probably paying you through some other way. They're just not paying you a direct check as a athlete's rep. You're probably being paid a salary based on whatever else is being done, and you were raised your pay because they said, oh, hey, can you also take care of these responsibilities? Okay, so now you're accountable for that. The comment that he made on DJ's podcast was that an email should be made to, or should be sent to all the new athletes, and someone needs to do that. Well, that's what the athletes rep is for. That's literally what it's for. Send them your email, send them all the information. They don't need to go directly to the organizer they don't need to go to the manions, right? They need to go to you. You are the rep. That's what you're for. Whenever we have issues with our community government or local government, do we just call up Joe Biden? No, we don't. Like, we don't call up the senators. We go through representatives. That's what representatives are for. That's what your local governors are and your local politicians, right? So it doesn't make sense. Like, Bob, you're retarded. I'll just say that right now. And yeah, like, I really think that you're just on a different level of stupid. You make up a lot of excuses, so that kind of confirms like your work ethics, which seems very poor, and you really don't understand what an athlete's rep is, which, I mean, again, that's just shows your level of intelligence. So there's something shady that's going on. I mean, I would, if I was, someone working for the IRS, I'd probably look into you. There's probably some shady stuff going on. You're probably allocating money to some other account, and it's probably not legal, right? You're probably doing something wrong, and you're not smart enough to get away with it. Let's just say that. So, or secrets about someone, the higher up that's in the organization, and you've threatened them, you blackmailed them. So that's probably a more realistic thing. Because you seem like a snake, so you probably blackmailed them. Some things, and that's why you keep the position that you have. And and hopefully they slowly transition you away from the voice of bodybuilding, because we have much better voices out there. In my opinion, I think Lee Priest would do a better job. I think Fuad would do a better job. I think Seth Ferosi would do a better job. Um, I think there's a lot of other people. I think Evan Stapati would be awesome, right? I think, Bob, um, you're just you lack the work ethics and the accountability to be able to do what you claim that you're doing, but all you do is you claim that you did things in the past, or you claim that you're doing things now, or you claim that athletes reach out to you, but you don't actually give specifics. And I think those people will not be offended if you actually say their names, because that also puts publicity on them, which is, any publicity is good publicity, right? So yeah, I really don't know what you're doing, and I'm not an IFBB, but I have a lot of friends that are, and also compete in the NPC trying to get pro cards, and I just think that um, there needs to be an actual organization to help everybody stay informed and have communication and hear their opinions and their thoughts about the organization. As we get more and more diverse and larger internationally, definitely needs to set it up more like a democracy. I mean, that's what it is. You need to have different districts, and then have regions. So you have your districts leaders, or your district reps, and then you have your region reps, and then you have kind of like set up like a company. They have your executive offices, and then it goes from there, right? So that's kind of how you need to have it done. There's more than enough work that could be done, and more than enough revenue that could be brought into the sport. This is a new age that we are very open, and just because a organization openly uses steroids and other illegal compounds, there's still a lot of money that can be given to the sport and to the athletes. So anyway, that's my rant. And if you have any opinions about this, I would like for you to comment about your feelings about Bob. And I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Fuad says on his podcast. And yeah, share this to other people who are in the organization. Let me hear your thoughts. And that's it. So like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on fit.dad.lifestyle and my new account, which is for my publications for children's nutrition and health learning, which is fit.family.books. Okay, we do have a website, fitfambooks.com, but that's coming up as soon as the books are ready, which should be at the end of August 2022 or the beginning of September 2022. Got 3 on the way and more to go. Later.